Hello and welcome to adding a service registry. Service registry, what is it and why do we need it? In the world of microservices, where you have multiple services that are connected together and running as a single unit, which means that the services are completely isolated. They can run on different servers, different regions, different locations, but at the end of the day, they have to connect together in order to give some meaningful services, such that you have a service A that depends on service B, which means service A has to connect to service B, get the information, and then provide the information back to service A, which will then provide that information to the users. So they have to be connected. But the connection is not so simple as we are seeing here. It is much more complex that any service can connect to any other service, which means there will be a big ball of mud, as they usually used to call it, and the connections go haywire. So, you need a service that helps you to track on the services that are up and running. Service registry comes to help here. Service registry are nothing but a registry that registers all your services, such that each services that are part of your microservice should send their information like heartbeats or the health of the services to the service registry, and then the service registry will register the service when it is up as well as deregister them when it goes down. It's also essential for service registry to get the information periodically such that it keeps the information up to date, because in the microservices world there is a huge ball of uncertainty, and service registry forms an essential part of your microservice application, and this tries to give you a certainty in the world of uncertainty. On the other hand, you have two kinds of service registry. One is client service registry, the other one is server-side service registry. So what is the difference here? In the client-side service registry, your client will query the service registry and then gets the information from service registry and then uses that information when it tries to send information to other services. On the other hand, your client sends the information to service registry, and this service registry is responsible for getting the information and providing the information to the other services. And there are two kinds of things that you need to worry about here. One is availability and the other one is consistency. For example, in JHipster, you have seen there are two kinds of service registries available. One is JHipster registry, which we have chosen. The other one is console. So, in case of JHipster registry, it requires availability over the consistency, which means the service registry checks for the availability rather than making sure the services are particularly high. So it provides availability over consistency. So in this case, all the information from each of the services will be sent to the JHipster service registry as heartbeats in a periodical interval, and based on that information, service registry updates its register, and whenever a service wants to communicate, it goes to the service registry and looks for the available service, and then it communicates via that channel. On the other hand, in case of console, it looks into consistency over availability. That is, each of these services that you have in your application will have a console agent that is running on it. Added to that, there is a central repository of service registry which takes care of all the information that are fed to it by the agents that are running in different services. And these services are particularly responsible for making sure the system is available, and whenever there is some problem with the system, these agents will provide information at much faster rate. So let's go ahead and see what we have generated as part of JHipster. Let's go to terminal and open the editor. So let's go to the download folder, downloads/store app. Open the application in any of your favorite editor, and you can see here we have main Java inside the package name that we have chosen, followed by the store app.java. This is the main entry point for your Spring Boot application. So here, if you take a look, these two annotations are responsible for making this as a discovery client. So you have a discovery client and a discovery server. So discovery server is JHipster registry, and all your services are discovery clients. So this annotation makes this entire application as a discovery client. On the other hand, you can go ahead and define certain properties in the application level. For example, you can specify Since Jhipster Registry internally uses Eureka, you can specify the instance and prefer the IP address rather than the DNS name. And if you have something like DNS name, you can go ahead and define it. Tell it false and then define them. On the other hand, these are the Eureka clients, so you give a service URL to it, and this service URL is nothing but the URL of your Jhipster registry. For example, if you take a look here, we are looking at dev file, so it takes the admin, the username, followed by the password, and then the host in which it is running and the port in which it is running, followed by the endpoint. So the applications, when they boot up, they uses this URL and then start sending information to that URL stating that I'm up, I'm going down now, things like that.